I'm a classic man. You can be me if you look this clean. I'm a classic man. Calling on me like a real OG. I'm a classic man. Oh, God. Oh, hello. Sorry. Welcome to episode 3. My name is Dr. Catel, and this is Basic Nigerian History. Let's get started. So last episode, we spoke about Sunjata and the rise and peak of the Mali Empire. Today, we're going to speak about specific characters in the Mali Empire and, of course, the downfall of the Mali Empire. Mali had different types of rulers, from the genius, the fair, and the just rulers to the cruel, the oppressive, and the useless. An example of the good rulers is Mansa Sakura, who was once a slave but opened direct trade negotiations with Tripoli and Morocco. Another great Mansa was Mansa Abubakar Keita II. He is great because he actually sent an expedition into the Atlantic West to explore what was on the other side. He sent 2 expeditions. The first one he sent alone. The second one, he actually accompanied them. He accompanied the expedition west into the Atlantic. Unfortunately, he was never to be seen again, and that's when Mansa Musa took over. Mansa Musa was the first of a new line. He was a very devout Muslim and made Islam the religion of the nobility, but he didn't enforce it on the populace. He made festivals like Eid, national holidays, and he could read and write Arabic. But it should be noted that most of his people weren't Muslims. He also peacefully absorbed the scholarly city of Timbuktu and transformed Sankore into the Islamic university that it eventually became, and he allowed Islamic studies to flourish all over Mali. Another great thing that Mansa Musa did was obviously his famous pilgrimage to Mecca. How can we talk about Mansa Musa and not talk about his famous pilgrimage to Mecca? Now, in that pilgrimage, he had a large group of people accompanying him, a personal guard of 500, and apparently he spent so much gold and gave out so much money in alms that the value of gold in Egypt and Arabia actually depreciated for approximately 12 years. Can you believe that? Ibn Khaldun actually has accounts that he had about 12,000 servants or slaves. On his way back from Mecca, he took out large loans from the Bank of Cairo and Tripoli. Now, we're not sure exactly why he took out these loans, whether he was trying to correct the depreciation that he caused or if he just simply ran out of money. But what we know is that he did take out those large loans. His Hajj pilgrimage and gold caught the attention of both the Islamic and the Christian world. All of a sudden, a lot of people were saying that, there's a place in Africa is filled with gold. It is just the El Dorado. We need to go there. We need to find out where this guy's gold is coming from. When Mansa Musa came back from Mecca, he actually brought with him a number of learned men who he asked to help design new architectural style buildings. The thing is, these men, they weren't really architects. They were just normal educated men, but he brought them back with him and asked their advice. Eventually, Mansa Musa died. But before he died, he made sure that Mali had control of Tagaza, which is another source producing mine, and that even increased their wealth even more. Also, by the time he died, the University of Sankore had become the largest collections of books in Africa since the Library of Alexandria. It contained 1 million scripts and it was capable of housing 25,000 students. Ibn Battuta wrote that during Mansa Musa's time, Mali was so safe that no one had anything to fear from robbers or any means of violence. Eventually, when Mansa Musa died, he was succeeded by his son called Mansa Magan Keita. His son was useless. He spent wastefully and was just a terrible ruler. It was bad. However, the empire was too strong for Mansa Musa's son to destroy it all with his stupid and useless way of ruling. Unfortunately, it was downhill from there. The reality was that Mali had outgrown its political and military might. The spread of metalworking, trade, and the growth of ideas had shown other people that there was advantage in being independent and going it alone without the help of Mali. Only a skillful leader like Mansa Musa could have kept the empire together. Unfortunately, even after his son, the other successors were not as skillful as Mansa Musa. So what happened was basically previous subjects of Mali started attempting to shake off the rule, just trying to shake it off. The first people was the Wolof people from the Dilof province. They tried to shake off the rule and they were successful. They did so in the reign of Mansa Sulaiman Keita. The next people that did so was the Songhai settlement of Gao. To make matters worse, Mansa's from obscure origin suddenly started claiming the throne. It was a very unstable time for Mali. the Songhai settlement of Gao. After he shook off Mali's rule, he started creating his own empire and it was growing. Mali was losing territory north and east. Also, trade was changing focus from the trans-Saharan routes to the coast. Examples of subjects and rivals of Mali that began to seize territory from them were people like the Morsi Emperor of Yatanga. They raided into Mali and plundered Massina in around 1390. The Songhai ruler of Gao pillaged Niani in 1400. In 1490, the Tuaregs seized land from Mali, places like Timbuktu and Oualata. Now, remember when I said the Christian world noticed when Mansa Musa did his trip? And they were like, there's an El Dorado in Africa, a place of gold, somewhere we can go. So, in 1450, Portugal began sending raiding parties to the Gambian coast, which was part of the Mali Empire. However, even though Mali was weak, they weren't so weak that they were going to let Portugal come and just take their land. They went in and slapped up the Portuguese. The Portuguese lost terribly and they were absolutely destroyed by the empire. They were so defeated that the Venetian explorer wrote that Mali Empire were the most powerful entity in the coast. They had to form a partnership with Mali. They couldn't just go in waiting for slaves like they wanted to. Meanwhile, Mali's former rivals and subjects were still busy taking land. The Songhai Empire in the north conquered Mema, they seized Timbuktu from the Tuareg, they even seized the salt mine of Tagaza that Mali managed to peacefully incorporate. The Fulani people raided into the Mali Empire. Asker Mohammed of the Songhai also kept on seizing land. After seizing the salt mines, they also seized Daifunu and the copper mines of Takeda from Mali. Mali was very desperate for help at this point. They requested urgent help from the Portuguese, whom they had formed a partnership with. But the Portuguese didn't want to help them against the Songhai. No help was given. Things just went from bad to worse. Mali's military outpost and provinces eventually became independent and swallowed up the remaining of Mali's Gambian provinces. Eventually, Mali kept on losing land after land after land to the point that the empire was just reduced to the Manden states, which the three sons of the previous Mansa began to fight over. They split it into three factions, each one calling themselves the Mansa. This further weakened the already weak empire. So when another group of people called the Bamana people declared war on what remained of Mali, they were very successful in destroying Mali. They just gutted Mali in the middle and destroyed two of the three factions and forced the remaining border to make peace. And that's how the Mali Empire fell and was destroyed. That's it for today. A recap of what we learned. We learned about the wonderful Mansas in the Mali Empire. Mansas like Mansa Sakura, who was once a slave and did amazing things. Mansas like Mansa Abubakar Keita II, who actually sent expeditions and went with them to go and explore what was happening in the Americas. We also learnt about Mansas like Mansa Musa, the man that was once the richest man on the planet. And of course, we learnt about the downfall of the Mali Empire. Next episode, we'll be studying the Songhai Empire. I know we mentioned them a little bit in this episode, talking about how they were seizing land from Mali, but next episode is when you're going to know. We're going to go into more detail, talking about them from the beginning all the way to their own eventual downfall as well. Thank you for watching, and of course, if you've liked this, if you've enjoyed it, if you've learned anything, please just subscribe, like, and share it with your friends. Oh yeah, I'm waiting now. Subscribe. I'm still here. Subscribe. Oh yes, guys, Dr. Catel here. We appreciate everything you're doing for us. If you like what we're doing and you want to continue supporting us, please just visit our Patreon at www.patreon.com/Ronu Creative, and then you can pledge however much you're feeling to pledge, and make sure you share it with people, and anything you do will help us continue to grow. I wanted to mention that. I appreciate you guys. Love you.